very good afternoon and thank you for joining us on BeeTv News at 3. I am Evelyn Izibili and now to the news in details. The Chief Executive Officer of Air Peace Limited, Alain Onyema, has urged Nigerians to remain patriotic and support President Bola Tinubu's initiatives. He made his appeal during the launch of Air Peace inaugural direct flight from Abuja to London Heathrow Airport.
And there it goes. Air Peace Boeing 777/200ER takes off from Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, heading for London, as the visionary behind the achievement, Alain Onyema, watches with pride. Earlier that morning, ahead of the 11 a.m. takeoff on October 26th, the airport buzzed with color, excitement, and jubilant faces. The Air Peace CEO, alongside the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, carried out a final inspection of aircraft, wrapping it up with a nod of satisfaction and approval.
Before now, you were paying over $12,000 to go to the UK. But today, because of the support of Mr. President, who has made it possible for an indigenous firm to grow, you are now going to be paying for business class about $3,000 only.
This milestone today is not for Air Peace. This milestone is for Nigeria. Very soon, it's not Air Peace alone. Not Air Peace. We are supporting every single private operator here.
Mr. Onyema commended President Tinubu's administration for its continued support of indigenous airlines, while government officials and guests praised his vision, patriotism, and commitment to advancing Nigeria's aviation industry.
Mr. Alain Onyema, I say to you, you are one of the most patriotic Nigerians in the business sector today, and I congratulate you for this fantastic achievement of breaking the Heathrow deadlock.
Alain Onyema is unequivocally a role model for Nigerian entrepreneurs. His story tells us that integrity is indeed a business model.
Excited passengers expressed joy over the new service, noting that it will strengthen the economy, enhance connectivity, and foster healthy competition within Nigeria's aviation sector.
I want to congratulate Air Peace for this wonderful project they've embarked on. It's going to take off everything. In fact, this is our own.
This is going to help in developing even the economy of our country.
Across Kano State, the pilot phase was officially inaugurated at Kofa Nasarawa Primary School with officials from the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, the National School Investment Program, and the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation in attendance. Officials at the event highlighted that ensuring quality nutrition for school children while simultaneously empowering women and smallholder farmers remains a central strategy for enhancing education and promoting social development in Nigeria.
That's another defining moment in our collective journey to build a nation where no child is too hungry to learn and no dream is cut short by the pangs of poverty.
Snacks for Thought initiative answers that question. It ensures that every child starts the day with a nutritious meal, focus, confidence, and freedom to dream about the future. This is what renewed hope looks like. At the federal level, we continue to feed the children.
Today, we are not just launching a program. We are investing in the mental alertness, school attendance, and the brighter future of our teeming children.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, has stated that the North Central region holds a strategic position in driving Nigeria's non-oil export expansion under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. He made this remark in Jos during the inauguration of a 250-seater conference center at the Nigerian Shippers Council North Central Zonal Office. Standing at the newly commissioned conference center in Jos, the capital Plateau State, the message from the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is clear. The renewed hope agenda is not merely a policy on paper, but a tangible investment in infrastructure that links the North Central region to national prosperity. The commissioning of the Senator George Akume Conference Center in Jos brought together key stakeholders from Nigeria's maritime and logistics sector. From the SGF, George Akume, the project executed by the Nigerian Shippers Council in collaboration with the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, reflects the federal government's commitment to infrastructure-driven economic diversification.
Today's commissioning of this conference center reflects that witnessing here today how federal presence under the renewed hope agenda is translating into tangible development at the subnational level.
With the commissioning of the center, the federal government says the North Central Zone is now strategically positioned to serve as a hub for non-oil export growth in Nigeria. Evelyn Isabella reporting for BeeTv News. Over 250,000 Nigerian women have registered for a newly launched Empower Financial Literacy Program, an initiative by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs. The program is designed to strengthen women's financial, digital, and entrepreneurial skills nationwide. The initiative is being implemented in partnership with Kudimata Nigeria Limited, a leading organization in financial literacy and empowerment. Speaking at the launch in Abuja, the Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, described the empowerment program as a foundation for creating a financially literate and economically empowered generation of Nigerian women who will strengthen families, communities, and the nation. Meanwhile, the founder of Kudimata Nigeria Limited, Kathleen Erimu, characterized Empower as more than just a project, calling it a national movement aimed at equipping every Nigerian woman, whether running a business in the marketplace or managing a farm, with the knowledge to grow and shape her own destiny. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has ordered the Bayelsa State House of Assembly, the Speaker of the House, and 5 others to appear before it to show cause why they should not be stopped from making any move to impeach the Deputy Governor of the state, Senator Lawrence, pending hearing and determination of a motion on notice to that effect. The report.
The trial judge Justice Emeka gave the order on October 27 while ruling on an expert motion marked Federal High Court /Abuja/Court Sitting 2219/2025 filed by the Bayelsa State Deputy Governor against the Bayelsa State House of Assembly. The Speaker of the State Assembly, Inspector General of Police, Director, Department of State Services, Attorney General of Bayelsa State, the Chief Judge of Bayelsa State, and the Clerk, Bayelsa State House of Assembly. The plaintiff had in the motion filed on October 17 prayed the court for an order of interim injunction directing the defendants to appear and show cause why the prayers for interim injunction in the motion or notice pending before the court could not be granted against them pending the hearing and determination of the aforesaid motion.
U.S. forces has killed 14 people in strike on 4 alleged drug boats in the Pacific, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said. Mexico Navy says it is still searching for a lone survivor approximately 400 miles from the Pacific coastal city in Acapulco. It is the latest in the series of attacks on boats the U.S. says have been carrying drugs in both the Pacific and the Caribbean. The report. The latest strike in the Eastern Pacific, which Hegseth said happened on Monday at the direction of President Donald Trump, marked an escalation in what it has cast as a campaign to stop narcotics from entering the U.S. The strikes have drawn condemnation in the region, and experts have questioned their legality. Members of the U.S. Congress, both Democrats and Republicans, have also raised concerns and questioned the president's authority to order them. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum told her morning press conference, "We do not agree with these attacks." She said she had asked the country's foreign minister as well as representatives of the Navy to meet the U.S. ambassador. "We want all international treaties to be respected," she added. At least 57 people have now been killed in the strikes, which has led to increasing more significant drug trafficking corridor, with the rest taking place in the Caribbean. Graphics show drug trafficking routes in the Pacific and Caribbean. President Trump has said he has the legal authority to continue bombing boats in international waters, but suggested last week that he may seek approval from Congress if the campaign is expanded to include targets on land. Trump has said he is totally prepared to strike land-based targets, which would mark a significant escalation in the campaign. The strikes, however, have drawn criticism from international law experts and both the Venezuelan and Colombian government. Mary Ellen O'Connell, an international law expert at Notre Dame University and former military educator with the Defense Department, said the criminal suspects are entitled to due process. "It is a greater crime to summarily execute people suspected of drug trafficking than drug trafficking is," she added. The strike also comes as tension ratchets up with both governments. The U.S. has placed sanctions on Colombian President Gustavo Petro, accusing him of failing to curb drug trafficking and allowing cartel to flourish. In the Caribbean, the U.S. has deployed troops, aircraft, and naval vessels, and last week ordered the world's largest warship, the USS Gerald R. Ford, to the area. Trump has accused Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro of being the leader of a drug trafficking organization, which denies, and there are fears in Venezuela that the U.S. military buildup is aimed at removing the long-time opponent of Trump from power. The U.S. is among many nations that do not recognize Maduro as Venezuela's legitimate leader after the last election in 2024 was widely dismissed as neither free nor fair. Opposition tallies from polling stations showed its candidate had won by a landslide. Evelyn Isabella reporting for BeeTv News. Today, entertainment news. Popular critic Very Dark Man has alleged that a well-known comedian attempted to funnel 700 million naira through an NGO to disguise the origin of the funds. In a post shared online, Very Dark Man claimed the comedian, described as usually quiet on social media, was approached with a plan to transfer the large sum into the NGO's account with an agreement that a portion will be siphoned off as payoffs, the reports. According to Very Dark Man, the arrangement would have seen the NGO receive the 700 million naira, from which insiders would withdraw portions and distribute kickbacks. He said the comedian was told he would personally receive 10%, about 70 million naira, while the rest would be made to disappear through the NGO's books. Very Dark Man added that he refused to be part of any scheme that would root such a large sum